What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Pages from Rock Bottom. I'm Matt.
I'm Kim, and tonight we are talking with Cory, who is in a vehicle, but it's okay. It's okay. Now he's taking his hat off so he can fix his hair.
Yeah.
Hi, Cory. How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you from? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Uh, I'm from a little bit everywhere. I was born in Pike County. Was raised in Columbus, Cleveland, um, West Virginia, just a little bit everywhere. Um,
Bit everywhere.
Spent 20, I don't know, 28 years, 29 years in addiction. Um, been through the ringer, but you know, I'm still here, so must be doing something right.
Yeah, you're alive, right? God's got
Yeah,
some type of plan for you.
for
That's for
sure.
sure. Um, you've already told us where you're at, where you're from. Where are you at now? How long you got in recovery?
See, my clean date is May 22nd, 2025. Um, so was that coming up on 6 months? But
Math
I
guru.
I had I had almost almost 3 years clean and ended up letting some dumb shit take me out. Well, I didn't let it take me out. I took myself out. But we all have our excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah. So I've said this a million times. Back in the day, I used to be able to say, like, I'd let stubbing my toe give me an excuse to go out and just continue to use. Didn't matter. I was having a bad hair day or somebody looked at me wrong.
just what?
Well, what ended up taking me out was something that I already knew, like, way before. It just I found out that, all right, I married this chick. She turned out not to be such a marriage type, and she got pregnant. Said it was mine. Blah 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 blah. Day before I was supposed to get joint custody with his grandma of him, she calls and tells me he ain't mine. I go to court the next morning. They cut him out of my life completely, and I used that as an excuse to go get high.
Oh,
So I mean, it's like I said, I already knew it in my heart, but either way it goes, that's still my son. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he ain't gonna know the difference. It's just the way that everything transponded, and then like I ended up losing my job at the time in recovery, and I just took the coward's way out and ran.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. It's easier to run from, your problems than it is to face them.
Well, that and, like, reservations wasn't nothing that I've ever really been good at. You know,
Mm.
blocking, I go with it. You know what I mean? And that's something that this time around is a little bit different. Um, I don't really have reservations for anything. I mean, life's getting lifey as hell for sure, but at the same time, like, if I want to get high, I'll get high. But I really ain't trying to do that because, like, I'm a better person when I'm sober than what I am when I'm high. Like, I'm a totally different monster being high.
Yeah, for sure. I think we all are.
Yeah.
I think we all are. I've seen you high. You've seen me high. You know what I mean? Like I've seen him high. He's never seen me high, but like I seen him high once, and I locked him in a bedroom and made him get sober and eat cheeseburgers and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
3 days. Locked me down.
I did. I took his phone the whole night. I'm like, no, we ain't doing this. Like, you know what I mean? Like right now, I want you to want to save your life. You know what I mean? I want you to want to do better for yourself.
Well, what got me this time? Like I hit the basement of rock bottom. You know what I mean? Like I never thought that was possible. Like the week I went to treatment, I died 7 times.
Yeah.
Like I OD'd 7 times, and like that shit scared the fuck out of me. You know what I mean? Excuse my French, but like I don't know. I've overdosed before, and been through shit that I shouldn't have lived through, and it didn't scare me as bad as these last. You know what I mean?
The last time.
Few. So like I took myself to treatment. Like I didn't go court ordered. The first time I went through treatment, I wasn't court ordered, but Travis and Shannon got a way of, making it court ordered after you turn yourself in and all that good jazz. But this time I took myself in. Um, I went and turned myself in on some bullshit that happened between me and my uncle, and like just actually worked on me a lot this time than compared to normal.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't just going through for clinical answers or none of that. Like I don't know.
Was
It
you
was
doing it for you? Did you feel something different inside, like internally, or?
well internally. Like when I first went in, like I ain't gonna lie. When I first went into rehab this time, I was a crybaby about everything. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to shit my way because it sucks having a head full of knowledge and an arm full of dope.
Ooh,
You
yeah.
know, and I got my CDCA. I'm working on my peer support and stuff now, and like I don't know, like knowing that being on this side of sober compared to being on that side of sober, like it's day and night. And then like I know my potential, and I was letting myself down. But like the main thing was is like I got all my kids back in my life, and then when I relapsed, I just fucking like put them back on the back burner, and that shit ain't cool. And like now I'm trying to get everything back together, and it's just I don't know. The devil's testing me every which way but loose.
Yeah. Bree said, "I'm so proud of you, bub." Yeah. And then Rebecca said, "That you are." I'm not sure what that means, but stubborn maybe. I don't know. But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Like I'm not one of them people that like to ask for help. You know what I mean? Like I've been on my own since I was 8 years old. My mom kicked me out in the streets of Columbus and shit. And like the dope boy took me in across the street. You know what I mean? And that's where I learned how to hustle. He taught me how to, he wasn't one of them dope boys like, oh, go hit the block. You know what I mean? Like he took me when my mom kicked me out and shit. Me and my stepdad got into a fight, and he was gonna leave, so she came in. She was like, "Get the fuck out of my house." You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I'm like, okay. So I go downstairs and I'm sitting on a little wheelchair ramp, the arm of it or whatever, and like I'm fucking bawling and boo hooing and shit. And dude comes over, he's like, "What's up?" Like, shit, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't trying to be fucked with, just leave me the fuck alone. He was like, "You and Pops got into it, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, come on, you're going with me." Dude took me to go get my hair cut and shit. Took me, got me school clothes and all that good shit. You know what I mean? And then like I kept telling him like, "Hey, I need some money. I need some money. I need some money." So he threw me an eighth of weed. I took it to school, sold it, came back, brought him back the money, gave me a quarter.
Yeah.
Put some money in my pocket, brought the money back, and he gave me an ounce. Went to taking the money back, and he's like, "Nah, fuck that." He was like, "Now you got some money in your pocket." And he was like, "You want to fucking, have any more money?" He's like, "You're going to start doing chores around here." He was like, "Do the dishes, clean the house, watch the kids." You know what I mean? And like, he became like a second dad to me for real. But that was something that, you know, like all the trials and tribulations and shit that I've been through, like I wouldn't change that shit for the world because it made me who I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Same.
So
Same. I mean, there's a few things I can say that I would change, but I can't. And but yeah, definitely wouldn't change nothing that I went through because I wouldn't have never met the man beside me, and I wouldn't be the woman that I am today. Doing the things that I am doing.
well, I
Um,
mean, I wouldn't change the events that happened. Like my first prison number, I took a number for a buddy of mine in Columbus, and you know, he took care of me. You know, what I mean, I was one of the young cats. Whatever. Dude put 40 grand on my books. When I got out, he gave me a 6'4" Impala. He looked out for me tough. I'd change that shit now. I'd made him go do his own time. But
yeah.
you know what I mean? And then when I got off parole in Ohio, the day I signed my release from community control that morning at 11:30 at night, I was on my way back to prison in West Virginia for manufacturing meth. Like, you know what I mean?
Even out 24 hours. But, yeah. Man, isn't
So,
that funny? Isn't that funny how that life works out sometimes?
yeah,
Like,
like when I got caught making meth, like, well, I let myself get caught because I went and bought everything at the store by myself, you know what I mean? Instead of sending them flunkies to get it. And Like I knew what it was, but I'd have probably changed that because like my dad died 2 weeks before I came home from the joint, and like that was like I don't know, I'm a daddy's boy, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that was a death blow. And like when I got out, I used that as an excuse to fucking, get high, shooting heroin, doing dumb shit. Like I went to River Park over in Huntington, West Virginia, and like Donkey kicked the doors telling them like, "Hey, I need help." They came out, gave me a shot of Thorazine. I woke up a couple weeks later. They're like, "What's your name?" I told them my name. They were like, "All right, get the fuck out of here." So after that, I spent probably, see, Dad died in 2016. I got clean the first time in 2021. So spent 4 years in the bottom of the needle.
Yeah.
But I can't use that as an excuse. I did for the longest time. That and my sister dying was my two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all it really boiled down to is, I wasn't man enough to face my mistakes and my fears.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Now, I don't know. I got so used to dealing with my demons that like, I don't know. It's hard to let go of them because like they held me on nights when nobody was around me. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. They're part of you for
Yeah.
sure.
So like, I don't know. It's hard for me to even to the day. You know what I mean? I got demons that I'm comfortable with that I shouldn't be
Yeah.
just because you know what I mean. Like they were there when nobody else was.
Makes sense.
How are you working on them?
Ooh.
How am I working on them?
Yeah.
I actually just like went to a new and got back into therapy and told them I needed to get my meds regulated because like my mental health, my mom fucked me up when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like, and I can blame her for that shit because she did that shit. You know what I mean? But like I'm trying to, I don't know, just trying to take it day by day instead of I live in the past a lot and that's a lot of my problem. And like somebody told me when I first went to treatment that like if you got one foot on in yesterday and one foot in tomorrow, you're pissing all over today. So like I don't know, I don't hold grudges or none of that shit. I mean, I get pissed off and shit and I throw up the past a lot, but like I don't know, just dealing with them as they come and actually let myself set in the feelings and feel the feelings. Even though sometimes I get a little psychotic and a little crazy and shit, but I mean, I got to be able to feel it to deal with it.
Right. I get like that too. Like I'll set in it, but I'm really good at like I'll mouth off sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Well, see, like growing up, I learned how to fight really good because I got tired of getting beat up.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
I know quite a few of those
I'll
people.
I'll run my mouth all the way up until the first hand flies, and after that, that's on them. You know what I mean? Like,
That's on them. All right, let's see what the fuss is about. Carly Conley said that. Is she related to you?
yeah, that's my baby. That's my oldest daughter.
Ah, she said, all right, let's see what all the fuss is about. So at what age did you start using?
uh, see, smoking weed and stuff, I was like 7 or 8, and then I didn't really get into the hard stuff. See, Becky died in 2013, I think. So it
Oh,
was around. No, it wasn't 2013. It was 2005 when she died. So around that time is when I started getting into the pills and all that good jazz. I didn't start using meth until probably uh, I don't know 2000, probably 2007, 2008, and then it was a lost cause after that.
yeah.
And then I got introduced to the Percocets, and then got next thing you know, started doing heroin, started doing oxys, and pretty much if I can.
Yeah, anything, because it's a cheaper version. Because the pills were expensive. Then you go to heroin and stuff. It's like it's like you get a lot more for the price, So, that's why everybody would say like, it was cheaper.
Well, I started out like after the 30s and the oxys, went way up. I started out smoking fentanyl or smoking tar, well, black tar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then after you get immune to it, you start smoking, 2-3 grams, at a time, and at 80-90 bucks.
Yeah, gone.
My dude's like, here, you're sicker than shit. He was like, I got the perfect fix for you. And he pulled out a tenth. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, that ain't gonna do shit to me, dude. That's the first time I ever shot up, and it was, I don't know, just that instant, boom.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was, I don't know. Well, it wasn't really like I was terrified. I'm terrified of needles. Like somebody comes around me with a needle, I'll beat them up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I can shoot dope all day. I can get tattoos all day. It's just, I don't know. I never really understood that part of my addiction when it came to like using needles and all that good jazz.
The
Um,
insanity of it. You know what I mean? It'll make you do anything,
y-
realistically. And people don't. They truly. I don't. People that's not addicts, they don't understand that. They're like, how can you? How can you choose your kids, your drugs over your kids, or how can you? How can you do this over this for this? Until you've been there and you've walked a mile in somebody's shoes, or you've actually lived what addiction is, you're never
mhm.
going to truly understand it.
Well, see,
Ever.
like my my addiction wasn't really all that bad. Like the thing in my addiction, that if I could change anything about it, would be like being more valid in my kids' life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause like I didn't have mom and dad growing up for real, and like I always I made a promise to myself that I wasn't going to turn out like my mom and dad, and I turned out just like my sperm donor. You know what I mean? And that's the bad thing,
Yeah.
because like my daughter's getting ready to be 20, and like I fucked her up. You know what I mean? And that's something I got to live with. And like
Oh,
no matter what I do to try to correct it, it ain't never going to correct it.
yeah. Mm-mm.
And like me and her talk about it all the time, and like I can't be like, oh, Carly, you can't feel this way, you can't feel that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because her feelings are valid. If I wasn't a piece of
Absolutely.
shit and I wouldn't have putting a fucking needle in my neck over, being at her recital, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, that's things that they carry with them. Resentment is real. Like my daughter, I have a daughter that I lost at 8, and she still to this day won't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, and she's in her 20s and she has her own baby, and no matter how good I've done and still doing, she still won't even give me that inkling of a conversation. So, we don't really realize like what we put the other people through, whether it's our kids or our parents or significant other that doesn't use whatever, but we don't really realize like what we do to them because we don't think about that in that moment or at all really until after we start getting sober, and then it all hits us at once.
Well,
So
see, like with Carly, like the way I know my older kids is through her, and that's that ain't on her shoulders. It shouldn't be on her shoulders. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I got two older boys that I ain't seen since. See, Cam was like 27 months old, a little over 2 years old, and then his brother was just born. Like literally, she had him in the hospital. I wasn't supposed to be there, but I went in and seen him, and that was the last time I seen him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they talk, she talks to them. You know what I mean? And then she's got a little sister because I was a you know piece of shit. You know what I mean? I cheated on her mom. I had, see, Carly, Cameron, and Emma are all like, I think, not even a year apart. You know what I mean? Like, they might be maybe 8 months apart, something like that.
Yeah.
And so, like, they all get mad at her because she knows me because
Uh-oh. We've okay. I was like, oh no, we've lost him temporarily. Uh-oh, now we can't hear you. Becky, well, hold on. Well, go ahead. Keep working with your audio. You may have to leave and come back on for a minute. Leave completely and come back on. Becky said, no, we sure don't in our active addiction, but we get sober. That's when it really hits us, and we can't change the past, but we can change the future. That's so true, Becky. We can definitely. And thanks, Bree. Well, she said, well said, Kim. All right, we're going to bring Brandon back on. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It'll automatically, I don't know why it does that, but like if something happens and you get cut off, it'll take your mic from you and you have to leave the stage and come back on. So it's just, but it's a thing. It's a thing. But welcome back. I'm not sure where you left off. You were saying something.
About how like all my older kids are like they get mad because Carly knows me, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just because like her mom just wouldn't give up, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
She's got a good mom, she's got a good family. Like, if it wasn't for her mom and her grandma, I'd have probably died a long time ago, you know what I mean? Because like, but like, so Carly talks to her brothers, and like they'll bring me up, and then like my oldest son's autistic, and so like he don't like talking about me, you know, whatever. And then like I've tried to get into their like where I can get to know them, but I was a piece of shit and like to beat up their mom, I guess, when I was like 17.
Yeah.
And they put a protection order in, like, I don't know, the judge gave her the TPO, and then it became a 5-year protection order.
Yep.
And their mom told me I was dating this girl, and she told me, she said, you're either going to come be a family with the boys and me, or you're not going to see him. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, you ain't trapping me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she was literally going to take them completely out of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I wasn't no role model. I wasn't a good dad. Um, so I can't be mad at her for protecting our children. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And like I respect her for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I'm sure there's going to be a day when they come. You know what I mean? There's going to be questions. And like, I'm not gonna blame their mom for, you know, oh, I'd have been there, but your mom, no, fuck that. I was a piece of shit. I was a dope addict. You know what I mean? All I was worried about was chasing pussy and getting dope.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sounds about right? I mean, you know, and that's just real life, you know what I mean? It's raw, and it happens. You know, I remember my days, and I was a piece of shit too. Was you a piece of shit?
Yeah. I made sure of it.
He said I made sure of it. Yeah. It, you know, this is my second time in recovery, and I was worried this, you know, just my seventh year, because last time I was on 7 years and I relapsed, you know what I mean? And I was a little worried in the back of my mind this time, like, you know, it's coming up on the 7-year mark, you know what I mean? But I'm doing things a lot differently now than I was then. So, you know, I changed everything about my life this time around.
well, see, like I had it in my head, like when I use, I don't go around my kids. I don't talk to nobody in my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I don't want to ruin that. You know, for my daughter, I was Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like when I use or I go to jail or whatever, you know what I mean? I just disappear. And like she didn't, up until I went to prison for the manufacturer of meth. Like she never knew I was in jail until she read a letter I wrote her mom,
Mm.
and it was. And then her mom had to tell her like, "Oh no, your dad, he's in jail for drugs." Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And then like my daughter, she really don't have a filter. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the things that I admire about her. You know what I mean? Because like if she feels a certain way, she's gonna tell you whether you like it or not. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so me and hers had some tough, tough conversations. Um, and like I can't just give her a straight out answer. All I can say is, you know, it was the dope. Because like no matter what, you know, I can't go and fix that. I can never take back all the years that I've missed. You know what I mean? Um, that's like when I relapsed the first time or whatever. Like I got me and her. We were seeing each other on a regular basis. We were staying in contact, and then I started using, and I just disappeared. You know what I mean? I faded away, and like I didn't really realize how much it was hurting her until I got sober this time, and she told me like, "Dad, I'm sick of you doing this shit." Like, basically, she told me to shape up or ship out,
Yeah.
and you know that hit a little bit harder than anything. Um, going through this time because like I know better, I know what to do. It's just I don't know something in my sick twisted mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's with everybody realistically. You know what to do, but it's like if you apply what you've learned to stay sober. So you said that you on your first attempt at sobriety, you said was for your family. What did that look like for you at that time?
Um, honestly, Amanda had Jason. I watched her mom walk out the hospital with him. I'm fishing needles out of the fucking sharps container just to be able to do a shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was stupid. You know what I mean? And then CPS got involved and all that good jazz. Me and her ended up getting into it on Christmas Day. They came and arrested her and shit, put her in rehab. I went to go see the baby at what you call it, Children's Services, and they wouldn't let me see him because I was high.
Mhm.
And I spent a couple weeks in the trap house. Like CPS was coming, like begging me to go to treatment and shit. Like coming to the trap house and begging me.
Yeah, they will.
And for real, if it wouldn't have been for Holly Wiggins and I
She
don't
put
know,
you.
Christina Myers or whatever her name is,
I,
I'd have probably never would have went the first time.
I know
Like,
Holly.
hey, she's brutal.
She
But
can be, but she's a kind person. Like she
yeah,
cares. She's one of them CPS workers that actually care.
yeah,
Yeah.
she. Well, like when I went to rehab, they took all my clothes and all that, and like the clothes that I had when I first got to rehab was because Holly went and got me all sorts of shit, like Nike shoes and all sorts. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And she was like, "You're doing the right thing. Just keep it up." And like, I don't know, she stayed in contact with me for like, I don't know, probably a year and a half after. Like I was in Shawnee down here in Portsmouth when all this happened, and just I don't know, and I was just going through it for probation. Is what it turned into.
Stop it. And he's gone again. Um, I guess while we wait, we can read things. All right, he's gonna come back on. Kim, yes, you did. Rebecca says, Kim, yes, you did, and I'm proud of you. You're very inspiring to a lot of people. Well, thank you, Rebecca. I try. Um, I don't know if I'm inspiring to a lot of people, but
You are just without intention to be.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see. I think we got him back. Hold on.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. I was like, and he's gone again. So I started reading comments. Bree said she knows she was. Rebecca said I was too. When we was all talking about how we were a piece of shit.
And
Thank you, Bree. I am doing really good. I have over 7 years, going on 8.
damn,
Yeah, I
that's
know, right?
crazy.
But doing good. I wouldn't change life for nothing right now. But I'm just really glad to see you, Brandon. You're still doing good. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I started like doing this Pages from Rock Bottom, and then I do March United and all that, just so like, you know, to hear the stories, and hopefully like your story is going to inspire somebody else, and I hope that it truly does, and I'm sure that it does. You know what I mean? So, but you're one of those people from Pike County that's like, man, he's never gonna get sober. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Woo! Bree's got 11 years. Shout out to Bree. You go, girl. You
it was.
go, girl.
I went and seen Todd and Travis yesterday,
Did you
and
really?
yeah, I'm back on probation. I ended up my uncle threatened to shoot me, so I threatened to break his jaw, type thing,
Yeah.
and so I went in after I found out about it or whatever. I went in and told him flat out, like, yeah, I did it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Yeah.
bullshit them around because, well, you bullshit Todd and Travis and Tony, and they kind of like forget where they put you.
Yeah.
So like, I just go in and just if I did it, I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just get it over with.
Yeah, and they usually take it pretty easy on me. Like, they put a 5-year protection order between me and my uncle, and put me on paper for 3 years. And that's cool because, like, for real, I needed the accountability. You know what I mean? Like that, and as long as you shoot straight with them, they'll go above and beyond for you. But if you're just sitting there just bullshitting them and lying to them and making them chase you and all that good shit, you ain't got a snowball's chance in hell with them.
No. No.
But I went in there yesterday and I talked to a kid. This kid got out of jail or whatever, and he spent the night on the street. He's homeless or whatever. And I told him, I'm like, he's like, man, I'm about to go check myself into the mental institution. I'm like, why? He was like, because I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm like, man, just go to rehab.
Yeah.
But I ain't. He was like, but I ain't used. I was like, how's your mental health? He's like, my mental health's fucked. Go to rehab.
Yeah.
I'm like, you go to rehab. I was like, you still got all the freedom that you want. You can go outside, smoke a cigarette, bullshit, have a phone, all that good jazz. They feed you, you know, take advantage of it. He was like, man, he's like, I got a problem asking for help. I got you, bub. So I walked in and talked to Stacey Owens about it.
Oh yeah, Stacy.
You know
Shout
what I
out to
mean?
Stacy.
So Stacy, she was like, all right. She was like, I got him. She went over to talk to Travis. Travis was like, oh, he declined needing help, blah, 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 blah. She was like, well, I think today he's gonna accept it. And then he went in and talked to Travis, do their little, intake or whatever. And he was like, you need help? He was like, yeah. I was like, man, that's probably the best thing you did, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, you'll like that. And he was like, man, he's like, how are you that good at talking people into doing this? So I've been you. Like,
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, suck your pride up, just, take your licks. I was like,
Scary, though. It's a scary thing.
Oh yeah, it's scary.
It's probably one of the scariest things I've ever did, to be honest with you. Like, I knew I could get sober, been there. You know what I mean? It's getting there and facing me was the scariest part about it. But
well, the first time through, I didn't know what to expect, but this last time, like, coming back, like, I knew I needed to come back. It was just coming back to the rooms and coming back and facing everybody, you know what I mean, that was there with me when I went through the first time, and seeing them in, like, you know, clinician roles,
yeah,
knowing that, if I'd have just, you know, sucked it up and, kept it together, I'd be sitting right there beside them. You know what I mean? So it was like the letdown and all that of everybody, you know. But where I messed up was because I was worried about what everybody else thought and letting everybody else down when I should have been paying attention to letting myself down. You know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah,
So
yeah,
like, and I thought it was going to be so hard to come back in and then everybody talk shit. You know how that goes. But it wasn't nothing like that. Like when I brought myself back to the rooms or whatever, like I don't know. NA is an amazing program because like it's a family. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
like nobody looked down their nose at me. Everybody gave me hugs and if you need anything, bub, I got you. Da 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 da. You know, you need to talk. You need sober support. You need this. You need that. You know, and for real, that that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
when I worked at Kent's place a couple of years ago, and like that was my favorite job of all. You know, I still got some of my clients that I had up there to this day that I talk to, and like they called and told me it was like, you know, your story really helped us, and if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have stayed clean this long. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and that hits on a totally different level than you know what I mean.
yeah,
So like that's what I'm trying to like work my way back into. Because for real, I like helping people like me. You know what I mean? People that
yeah.
didn't have a family, don't have you know what I mean. Had a rough life. You know, most of the time we don't come get help because we don't know how to you know pursue it.
Don't know how to
And
communicate. You know what I mean?
right,
I didn't know how to communicate at all. I'm like, what? Somebody's gonna look at me like I'm freaking crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
still learning.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Matt said he's still learning. We all are realistically, but it's it's hard. It's hard to be even admitting that I'm wrong still to this day. is there he went is hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's probably one of the hardest things to look at you and be like, I'm sorry, I was wrong.
You don't ever say I'm sorry.
Yes, I do. What? Do not let him lie to you guys. I do too, but I'm not wrong that often. So there's that. Uh
Where I'm using his phone, he keeps getting calls, and it kicks me off.
oh no. Yeah. All
But
right, so I want to ask you this question. You shared something incredibly powerful. You talked about dying 7 times.
mm,
Uh, take us into that. What happened when that? What was going on?
um, the first couple times, like I got Narcan and all that, and brought back, and like I was mad, dude. Like I was like, yeah. And this is where my mental health comes into, you know, the trifecta, is because like the way I looked at it was like, damn, I can't even die right. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Man, that was my mindset too.
yep,
And like, so the next time that it happened, I did a little bit more and kept getting brought back. And then the next time I did more, got brought back. You know, they say when you get Narcan, most people come back combative. And for me, I came back on a warpath. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like at the same time, like I got people out here that do care about me and do love me, and that it would crush like my oldest daughter. You know what I mean? All my kids. Like if something was to happen to me, that would mentally fuck them. You know what I mean? And I wasn't really um being thoughtful about that. I was being more self centered. Like, oh, it's me. You know, I'd be better off without. They'd be better off without me. You know, I'm not a role model. I'm not a proper dad. I'm not a good dad. You know what I mean? And that's the mindset that I kept. You know what I mean? Like the more bad shit that was happening to me, the more I was numbing it. But at the same time, I wasn't really numbing it. I was just, I don't know.
Living in it.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, and like I have arguments and shit about it to this day. Like for real, I feel like people don't care. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you know, but the thing is like if I'm feeling that way and like, and I'm projecting all that bad, how you say, I'm trying to think of the right word, putting all that negative energy out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, nobody wants to be around somebody that's negative. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I know that I'm that person. I do not thrive in negativity. If you got negativity, get away from me.
Well,
I don't want
like
it. Keep that
when
juju
I got
over
my
there.
mental health in order, like
Yeah.
I'm taking my meds and everything like I'm supposed to and all that. Um, like I'm a real positive person. Like I could talk negativity out of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never met a stranger. Like I could
Yeah.
just meet you and you know what I mean?
Talk to you. Yeah. I'm the same way.
Yeah. And like
People.
so like I don't know, with my past and all the shit that I've been through, you know what I mean? Like it's easy for me to help other people and tell other people what to do when I need to take the advice that I'm giving other people.
Hmm. Well,
That's Matt. Matt's the same. Matt can give, I mean, hella advice, right? But he cannot take his advice for nothing, his own advice. And he gives some of the best advice. Like it's great. Like, and if he would just take it himself, like, you know what I mean? Would be better
Mm.
off. I think we all do that though, for real. I think we all give great advice, but we can't never take our own advice and just roll with it.
Well, see, another thing is with me is like I got a fear of like being alone, and then a fear of like success too. You know what I mean? So I self sabotage a lot, and like that's something that I need to like work on. And I've worked on it a lot in the past, I don't know, year or so. But like when I get alone, I get in my head, and when I get in my head, that ain't good for nobody.
Yeah.
Cause like I do dumb shit, like I beat people up and do dumb shit for just because I think something. You know what I mean?
All
and
right.
then it goes back to childhood trauma, though, right? Your mom kicks you out at 8 years old, so automatically you got abandonment issues, you got trust issues. You feel like anybody that loves you or is supposed to care about you, it's all fake, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Core beliefs for sure.
And
Yeah.
like, and it's hard for me to like accept love. You know what I mean? Like, because the
You
way
question.
I look at it like this is like, if my mom can't love me, how the hell you gonna love me? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you question it. Like it and it's hard not to, especially because you feel unlovable because you're
Mm-hmm.
like the one person who was supposed to love me didn't,
Abandonment.
right? Yeah, and didn't. You didn't get the love that you felt that you should be getting from a parent. So yeah, I get that. That's
Well, that and like,
beliefs for sure.
you know, one thing that I was able to face after I became an adult about my childhood past that like scares the shit out of me is like my mom let me and my brother get molested and shit.
Yeah,
And like when we went and told like, hey, this happened, we got caught a liar, got our asses busted. You know what I mean? And then like it's after I came home from prison in West Virginia, like my cousin, the guy had molested me and my brother, came across the news screen and he got caught raping two little boys and their dad beat him in the head with a ball bat.
yeah,
Like until the cops got there or whatever. I was running for parole at the time. I called my parole officer, told him exactly where I was at. I was like, look, I'm in Jackson, come get me. I want to go back to Huntsville. They're like, well, we know why you want to go back. We're going to unsuccessfully terminate you from parole. You ever get in trouble in West Virginia again, you're doing day for day. So I stay out of West Virginia.
yeah.
Um,
I don't blame you. Ashley said you do have people that care about you so much and will always care. We are proud of you and love to see you when you are loving yourself.
that's another hard thing. Like if you've never been showed love, you don't know how to love. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like I love in my own way. Like I'll go above and beyond for people I love. You know what I mean? Like I'll die for the ones I love. But at the same time, like when it comes to doing something that shows that I'm loving myself, it's
Mm,
like, what's the point? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know the best way I figured out how to show love?
Huh?
Live right.
Live right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, like the thing that's had me sick for a while is like the final words I said to my dad.
Mm.
And when I got caught cooking meth or whatever, I told him, I was like, look, I was like, fuck, he wasn't come get me out of jail. And he told me that he wasn't going to come get me out of jail if I got it. You know what I mean? But when it happened, I told him, I was like, man, I was like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck you die or not. You ain't shit to me. You know what I mean? And like,
Mm.
that was the last shit I said to him. And then he ended up dying, you know,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks before I came home. And like, that's something that like, I'll never be able to forgive myself for. So like, all my dad ever wanted to do was see me get sober. And like, I got sober and then I fucked up. And then I'm sober now. And this time I'm trying to do everything in my power not to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of pride getting swallowed and a lot of different um, feelings that I'm feeling and having to feel in order to make myself straight again.
Yeah.
Um, so like I don't know, it just it makes for a long it makes for a long hard recovery because like I'm doing a living amends
Mm.
and that's the only way I can make it up to him. You know what I mean?
I
Like
think
he's
that. Sorry. Go ahead.
oh nah, that's the only way he can see it. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think that sometimes when you lose somebody you love and you're in active addiction, like it's really really hard to forgive yourself for things, you know. And making that living amends is really really hard. But like I feel like my mom, because I was in active addiction when my mom passed away. I didn't say anything like that, but like I didn't go to her funeral or nothing, or and I wasn't there when she passed away. But like I know like what I'm doing right now is one of the things that, and how I'm living my life right now is, she'd be so proud of who I am today. Like that's all she ever wanted, like was for me to get my life together, become the person that she knew that I could become. And I had to forgive myself because if I didn't, I would be living in it, right? So I turned my pain into strength, and I live.
Seeing what you like seeing everything that you've done and the obstacles that you've overcome. You know what I mean? Like for real, you give me inspiration. You know what I mean? Because like you've seen me pretty out there. You know what I mean?
Same, same.
And
You
like,
know what I mean?
and the thing is like everybody's like, oh, you got to change your people, places, and things, and that is true. But
Yeah,
at the same time, like it, it's more when it comes to me, it's more of my mental. You know what I mean? Like I can be around people using and not want to use. You know what I mean? And I could be around people, old people. Because some of them people were there for me when nobody else was. So that goes back to the whole, self or what do you call it? The self destruct mode.
yeah,
Because like
self.
if you hang around a barbershop, you're going to, get a haircut eventually.
Yeah,
Keep knocking at the devil's door, and he's going to answer.
yeah, for sure. And
So,
you keep welcoming it back into your life, it's going to eventually be back in your life. You know, um, there's nothing worse than being in a constant battle with yourself. I said this in the last segment. It's like you have to. It's you're two different people, right? And you're living in the same body, and you have to learn how to coexist with each other.
yeah.
But if you keep fighting with that person and you keep putting that other person in that same type of environment that it thrives in, I promise you, it's going to start thriving. You
Well,
know.
see, like every time I start doing good, it scares me. You know what I mean? Because I'm just waiting on that kick in the teeth to come, and like I'm forever looking for it. You know what I mean? And when I'm doing that, I'm taking my eye off the prize because I'm waiting for that kick in the teeth. And for real, 9 chances out of 10, the reason I get kicked in the teeth is because of me. You know what I mean? It's something that I did,
Yep.
and that
Yourself in the teeth.
I mean, like I set myself up for it. You know what I mean? Like I'll start like I'll go around people that's smoking weed, and then next thing you know, I'll start selling weed, and then next thing you know, I'm smoking weed. And then I go around people doing meth, and then next thing you know, I'm selling meth, and next thing you know, I'm doing meth. And then I'm right back to square one.
Yeah.
And like that's something that I'm breaking the habit with now. I'm trying to break the habit with now. Like I got a lot of friends that's on the other side of the, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
of recovery. And like I don't know, like they've always showed me love, so it's hard for me not to show them love. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I gotta learn to love people from a distance.
So what's something that you're proud of that the old you never saw coming?
A day of sobriety.
Ooh, yeah.
Um,
That's good.
being able to work through some of the crazy shit that's happened to me in my childhood, and like I can look myself in the mirror today. You know what I mean? That's something that I never really was big on. So I guess just being able to move forward from some of the past trauma, you know,
Would you say that
not
you've
living
actually
in it.
worked through it? Like your past trauma?
I've worked through like the tip of the iceberg. I ain't, you know what I mean? Like,
through the process of it.
yeah, like, well, my thing is I've already lived it once, you know what I mean? And some, some of the stuff that I've been through, like being chained up when I was a kid, and, I was chained in my bedroom for like 4 years. Got beat on every day. My mom sat and watched it happen. And then as soon as the dude that was doing it to me put hands on my brother, she packed up and moved us out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I was a straight A student, cried when I couldn't go to school. You know what I mean? Like I go to school to get away from the bullshit.
Yeah.
And like that shit mentally twisted me, and then my cousin raping us and shit. And you know, just the constant of not having somebody constant. You know what I mean? So like I got a big heart, and I'll help anybody, and I'll do anything I can to help save somebody but myself, if that makes sense.
It does. It absolutely does. And I feel like, I want to commend your courage for even coming on and talking about that. Most people wouldn't. Um, so I think that realistically, you may not realize it right now, but like you just talking about it and opening up about it right now, here, right now,
Mhm.
and that's a big step. So be proud of yourself for that because like it's not your fault what happened to you. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And like, see, like I used to not talk about it because I didn't want people to, get the pity party, whatever. And
Yeah.
like, I get mad at people when they come up and like, you know, tell me that, oh, these things happen. Da, da, da. Like, no, this shit happened. It is what it is. And, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It made me who I am. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, when it comes to my kids, their mom's getting with a dude, what I mean? I get real, you know, um, I guess,
Protected. Yeah.
yeah, to an extent protective, but like, I don't trust no dudes around my daughters. I don't trust, not just my daughters, but like in general, my kids in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just a weird thing. Uh, like their moms better be with them for extended period of time or something like that, and not just bring them around. Whatever. And I've lucked out because you know 3 out of the 5 moms are amazing moms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, a couple of them, well, yeah, but like that's my greatest, you know, highlight of my life is my kids. Cause like I'm book smart and stuff like that, to an extent, but like they got the best of both worlds because like they know how to use their head. They're book smart, and they stand up for themselves. That's something that I didn't do until I don't even know. I still don't really stand up for myself much unless you know if I feel threatened. That's a different story, but that's a different demon that comes out. That ain't
Right.
the person
Yeah.
that's trying to be helpful or whatever. Because I can get pretty petty and pretty vindictive, and like yeah, if I feel threatened or if I feel like you know I'm getting done wrong or I'm in the wrong, I'm gonna make your life miserable. If I
Yeah.
can't put my hands on you physically, oh yeah, I'm gonna make your life miserable.
Mess with you mentally. Yeah. Yeah. What was you gonna say? You were gonna say something.
So, earlier you said you would die for the people you love, and you know, I've told this before, but when I was at Ed's place, I had a counselor. We was in the middle of a group, man, so I got all the eyes on me, right? She
Mm-hmm.
like, Matt, would you die for your daughter? I was like, yeah, absolutely. She's like, then why the fuck won't you live for her?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's like, at that time in my life, like, I can't handle any other emotion. I don't know how to express it, so it just comes out in straight fucking rage, right? And then later on, I'm by myself, and I'm just sitting there processing what she said to me, and still to this day, man, just that little saying, "Why won't you live for it?" I strive to make that shit my goal every day, because even though I'm not part of her life, you know what I mean? Like, we talk on Snapchat. She's fucking 10 years old. She really don't know who I am. She's never seen me. She's never been a part of my life. But I have the opportunity now to be the man and the dad that she deserves to have.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
for sure.
fucking live for them, man. That's the
Yep.
greatest gift you can give yourself and them.
Yep.
Yeah, but see, like I ain't got no problem doing that. It's just learning how to live. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's a
like,
process, though. But
cause like,
also, from what you've told me, like
mm,
one of my strongest suggestions, because this used to get told to me all the time too. You need to learn to be patient and kind to yourself.
Yep.
Right? You're
yeah,
putting
that
these
goes back with the self love
expectations.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you put these expectations on yourself. I should be here. I should be doing this. That's not what it is, man. Work what the fuck you got to work, and you'll get there eventually. But you're not in control of it. You know what I'm saying? Shit's gonna happen when it's supposed to happen.
That's true. I've actually been noticing that. It's funny you brought that up because like I've I'm not really the most patient person. Like,
Fuck no attitudes. We want that shit right now.
Instant gratification.
yeah, but like I've learned over the past, I'd say probably like 4 or 5 years. Well,
Yeah.
probably past 4 years for sure. Like, yeah, I had a case manager when I went to Shawnee, and like he turned into more instead of being like a clinician to me. Like that was my dude. You know what I mean? Russ. I go to him with all my problems. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I couldn't fix a car. I call him. Hey, how do I do this? You know what I mean? Like, or if I couldn't, get past a step, like he set he set me down and told me he was like, B, he's like, man, he's like, just shut the fuck up, close your mouth, and open your eyes. And like, it took. I never really got what he was saying until like I got a little bit more clean time, and then like seeing all these, new people come in and their shit trucks, and like I see my, what I mean. I just see myself over and over and over and over, and then
Yes.
finally I sat down and was like, okay, instead of being the problem, I'm gonna try to be part of the solution.
Yes.
And like I went from being like one of the worst clients at Shawnee to being the top client, and then I took up for myself and they kicked me out. But I mean, I really didn't take up for myself. I just ran my mouth like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
You're just going advocating for yourself and being a douchebag. No. Just.
Yeah.
well, what it was like they had this chick doing house checks or whatever, and I just got off work. I was working swing shift at up there at Kent's, and like I just got off work. they came in, did the house inspection. There was two Q-tips that do clean the mouthpiece of his vape out with,
Oh yeah.
laying on the coffee table, and he took his socks off and put them beside the table. And she walks in, she goes, "I live with 4 humans and 4 dogs, and my house don't smell like this or look like this." I was like, "You're right. It smells like dog hair and dog shit." And I walked out the door. Yeah, they kicked me out.
I was just joking though. Wasn't calling you a douchebag. I was just playing.
Oh no. At the time, I was being a douchebag.
No,
Like,
I was just playing though. I was like, there's just a difference, but I didn't want you to get offended. I wasn't trying to
oh
offend
no.
you. But
I mean, it was just a whole. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like they weren't going to try. They told me I was living above my means because like I went and bought another car. I bought 2 cars while I was in the program, and they said that I was living above my means. I'm like, this is what you guys taught us to do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
have a backup ride for if something was to happen to the car. You know, I work an hour away.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
just, it was just a bunch of bullshit. But at the same time, I get what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So how is like before we ended and all that? But how are you doing right now? And
uh, right now I'm in the process of finding another job. Um, I went and started to take the proper steps to get my mental health back in check. Um, but overall, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? Like, I woke up this morning, and I wasn't dope sick, so
mm, if there's any bit of advice that you can give anybody out there right now that is struggling, what would it be?
sat down and reach out. You know, you ain't always gotta, have to have something to offer. Sometimes just sitting there and listening to somebody get it off their chest, man, like saves lives. You know, I know for me personally, like I got a couple people that I could call and just, unload on. And they're like, I don't know what to do. Like, dude, you just did it. Thanks. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, just listening.
yeah, just letting them get it off their chest. Cause like when you keep your thoughts and shit to yourself, like, that, that becomes dangerous. You know what I mean? Cause like you sit and you stew and, and sometimes you just need to say it. Like, if not, just sit down, and write it out, like just don't keep that shit in. Like, that's what keeps us sick.
Ooh, secrets. Yeah, keep us safe. That's good. That's good. Thank you. We appreciate you. Your story was amazing. I know you didn't get to share it all, but we do appreciate you coming on and sharing it with us, even though we lost you like 3 times.
My bad.
It's okay. Not a big deal. But your story was amazing. I'm still glad you're here. He's still glad you're here. I know everybody that's watching is still glad you're here. You know, you had your family come on and they were, commenting how much they love you and they were just curious to hear what your story was like. But don't give up fighting, man. Don't. You know what I
Oh,
mean? I've
look,
seen
I,
I've
I
seen you in
didn't.
the junkie stage, just like you've seen me in my junkie stage. You know what I mean? I think we're both better, way, way better people the way that we are right now. Mental health is a motherfucker. Get that shit under control. Like I still deal with mental health issues to this day. I just manage it a lot
Mm,
better, I think, at times, not all times, but
That's both of us.
yeah,
We're both still bipolar as
yeah,
fuck.
bipolar as fuck. You know what I mean? but But don't give up, man. Like things may not be going the way that you want them to right now, Brandon, but hell, you're a hell of a person. You're fighting for your life, whether you believe that or not, inside and out. Work on yourself internally. Stop letting your other person up here tell you what to do at times, you know what I mean, and give you some fucked up, distorted thoughts, you know what I mean? Like, that motherfucker, just lock him in the cage and tell him, say, listen, I control you now, not the other way around. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And
but that's
some days it's easy to do that.
oh,
Some days
it
it's,
is.
you know what I
Some days
mean?
it's not. No, like I'll be up there. I picture myself up there dangling the key in front of the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you
Sure.
want this? Do you want, but you have to like,
So the way I look at it now, right? Like back then, I had to learn how to live without drugs.
mm,
But now it's learning how to live with my defects and my
with me.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with me. I to say that. Oh shoot, there you went. But yeah, with me.
What
I'm great.
happened? Oh,
Oh,
hold
I
on.
don't know. But you're yeah. I don't know what you did, but
There we
just
are.
but just don't give up, man. And mental health. Start there. I think you got a good start of where you need to start, and just don't give in and don't go get high. And if you do, come back. You know what I mean?
And I'm cool on the whole getting high thing. Like I said, that
I'm just saying,
when I
come
died
back.
this last time,
Come
that
back.
shit scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So
But
like
also, I would suggest like keeping in the back of your mind that trauma is something you never actually, at least in my experience, right? Trauma is something I never fully worked through.
Mm-mm.
I just learned how to cope with it and deal with it in a healthy way.
Healthier ways.
I agree.
Because my dad dying in front of me, like I will never be able to get past that, right? But now I just know how to think of it in a different way and deal with it in a healthy way.
I agree with that. And like I try to find positive in all situations. You know what I mean?
It's
Like
it's hard sometimes. I get it, but that was probably one of the best lessons I ever learned in recovery. This time was pulling positives from really, really fucked up bad situations. Um,
and you gotta have gratitude too.
yeah, for sure,
Like
gratitude.
and that's like I'm thankful for my past. You know what I mean? I'm thankful for all the hard lessons. Like I ain't never learned nothing easy. You know what I mean?
Mm, no, I agree 100%. Thanks, Bree. Proud of you too, and you keep your head up. Bree said she's proud of all of us for all of us to keep our heads up
Her too, for sure.
for sure. And just don't give up, Brandon. You know what I mean? Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. And it's all gonna work out, man. Just if you want something bad enough and you set your mind to it, I guarantee you can accomplish it.
Thing is, I just gotta pick up the ball and not keep throwing it away.
There you go. Stop kicking it so damn far.
Sure.
You know what I mean? All right, we appreciate you. Thanks for sharing your story. It was amazing. And behave. That's all I'm gonna say. Just behave.
Oh, for sure. I ain't going back to jail. Fuck
For
all that.
sure. For
You know what
sure.
I mean?
For sure. For sure. All right, Cory. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Uh huh. Later.
Bye.